Hello everyone and welcome to this event today. I'm Andrew Bickerdike and I'm the CEO of Relationships Australia Victoria, known as RAV. I'm with you today to celebrate RAV becoming the new provider of open place. In this strange world we find ourselves in at the moment, we can't have a gathering as we might normally do to recognise this event. So instead we're having an online acknowledgement. It's an important event, and so I'm hoping that in the future we'll have a formal face-to-face gathering where we can do the formalities properly, but today we're having an online welcoming. Later I'll speak a little bit more about Open Place and the significance of the event to RAV, but first I'd like to introduce Ash Dargan. Ash is RAV's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Community Engagement Officer, and he'll be acknowledging the traditional owners of the land. After Ash, Carroll, the Open Places Community Education Coordinator and Forgotten Australian, will speak. Over to you, Ash.
Hello, my name's Ash Dargan, and I'm the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Engagement Officer with Relationships Australia Victoria. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet upon today, the lands of the Kulin Nation. I would also like to acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in Victoria that are viewing with us currently. Relationships Australia pays respect to elders past, present and emerging within our communities today. Reading some of the stories recently by the Forgotten Australians, I realised that they have been impacted by many of the same experiences that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have lived through, the stolen generations. And so today, I would like to acknowledge the lived experience that we both share, and that we are both on a healing journey of reconciliation with. Thank you. And now I would like to pass you over to Carroll from Open Place.
Thank you, Ash. I'm Carroll. I'm a Forgotten Australian. The name Forgotten Australians comes from the government Senate inquiry of 2004. And I know and understand that many people don't like that term. Some people prefer to be called homies or wardies or care leavers. So we acknowledge all those names. I was in care for the first 15 years of my life. And the experience has given me a profound understanding of both the histories and the present issues faced by people who were in out-of-home care. I'm a survivor of abuse in many institutional and foster care placements during my childhood. I was separated as a 14-month-old infant from my family, including my 7 siblings. I was one of several who lobbied the government for Open Place, and through our advocacy, and it was established 10 years ago. For the last few years, I've been a community educator there, teaching people about the issues and the needs of Forgotten Australians, mainly aged care, because unfortunately that's where we're heading. The lifelong impact that care had on us. The past is always with us, and many of us look perfectly okay, and you may get a glimpse of the grief, the trauma, the anger we feel at that we lost our childhoods. our families, our opportunities for an education and a career. Some of us hide it well, others simply can't. Our memories of our childhood experiences will always shape us. They shape our capacity to hope, our ability to be optimistic, and most importantly, they shape how we love and how we accept love. The terrible truth is that for many of us forgotten Australians, these childhood experiences and memories remain appallingly real. Appallingly real is the impact of these daily memories on our adult lives and our capacity to hope, be optimistic, and to love. I'm looking forward to working with Open Place and the Relationships Australia team to continue our work, and I hope we expand it. We are at a stage where more than 500,000 forgotten Australians are ageing and facing the prospect of being reinstitutionalised in an aged care facility. A senior professional once told me, no one wants to go into aged care, and that's true, they don't. But the difference is we started our life in an institution, we know what it was like, we don't want to go back there. I deeply appreciate Michelle McDonald's support and help during this really traumatic time of not only COVID-19, but the change from one organisation to another. And I look forward to working with Andrew, Michael, Fiona and all the RA team, and hope it is a time of renewal. Thank you. I hand back to Andrew.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Ash, as well. So there'll be many people that are watching this video, and I'm wanting to acknowledge all of them in turn. Obviously, there's the Open Place staff and RAV staff. Of course, Open Place staff are now RAV staff as well. Open Place clients, forgotten Australians and care leavers, stakeholders. This is a service that's integrated and connected into the wider community services network throughout Victoria. And I'd like to acknowledge all those groups and organisations that have contributed to its success over the last 10 years and will do so in the future. And our funders, Victorian Government Department of Health and Human Services and the Australian Government Department of Social Services. And I'd like to acknowledge any members of the public too who might be watching today who have an interest. So, as I said earlier, this is not an event that we would have planned in this way. We would have liked to have had a gathering where we can actually meet everybody, but we think it's still important to do a proper acknowledgement as RAV takes over responsibility for Open Place, and so we're doing this online video in its place. And we will, I'm sure, have a more formal welcome and opening of Open Place by RAV later in the year. So since 2010, Open Place is a service that's been providing assistance and support to people who grew up in Victorian orphanages and homes during the last century. As I said, and as Caroline has explained, these affected people come with a variety of names: forgotten Australians, care leavers, and other names. It's a service that's been of enormous importance and benefit to those involved in its original creation, and those who were involved in its original creation should be very proud of its achievements over the last decade. RAV played a small part from the very beginning. We were part of the original consortium and played a role in its original setup, and we're very pleased now to be involved in the way we are as the major steward of Open Place going forward. In October 2019, Berry Street, Victoria announced their decision to cease delivering the statewide Open Place service. And following this, in early 2020, RAV participated in a competitive tender process and was subsequently selected as the new provider by the Victorian Department of Health and Human Services. Can I say it was a very exacting and challenging tender process. RAV had to prove its credentials, and the department was very careful about how it went about selecting the new provider of Open Place, and that was demonstrating their great care and concern for the service and for its ongoing success. And RAV is very pleased to have been successful in that tender. So we've been operating as an organisation for over 70 years in Victoria, and we deliver a whole variety of services to the communities, including counselling, youth mental health services, mediation services, family violence prevention and recovery services, and various other support services, and many more types of services on top of that. Last year we assisted 30,000 Victorians, and I've got to say the demand for our services has continued unabated during this COVID time. So we've adapted to make sure that we can continue meeting the demand for our services by going to online and telephone platforms. We strive to provide assistance that's relevant, that makes a difference in people's lives. We try to provide a service that's easily accessible and client informed. That is, we listen to clients and we respond to the needs that clients tell us they have. We've got a very highly skilled workforce that's dedicated and committed to the work that it does. So we welcome Open Place staff to this group. In the last few months, we've got to know Open Place staff, and we've been very impressed by the calibre of the staff that currently work in Open Place and the dedication they have to the work. And we can see that you'll very easily fit into RAV and that you're very welcome. I'd also like to acknowledge the work that's been already done over the last 10 years. We're very fortunate to be taking over such a well-regarded and important service. And I think its success in the last 10 years is due to the hard work of many people, including Berry Street organisation itself, which we'd like to acknowledge the hard work, and the current and past staff of Open Place and the wider Berry Street organisation. Of course, we'd like to acknowledge particularly the clients of Open Place. We're looking forward to supporting and engaging forgotten Australians and care leavers through Open Place. We respect your past and current experiences. RAV prides itself, as I've said before, on listening and responding to the clients it serves, and we'll do that very much so in this service. We are in every respect a safe pair of hands. And of course, this service is all about you, and we look forward to working with you. As I said before, I'd like to acknowledge the funders, the Australian government and the Victorian government have supported this service in the last 10 years and have shown a great commitment to providing this service. So specifically, we're funded by Victorian Government Department of Health and Human Services and the Australian Government Department of Social Services. And we acknowledge and are grateful for that funding. So I'd like to now hand over to Michelle McDonald.
Thank you, Andrew and Caroline and Ash. And I look forward to sharing in a healing journey with you too. Open Place is delighted to be moving forward as a service of Relationships Australia Victoria. Our working relationship over the last 10 years, especially in the area of counselling, provides a solid foundation for Open Place and RAV to move forward together. Open Place will continue to provide specialist support to our forgotten Australians or pre-1990 care leavers from its premises in Richmond, and when COVID-19 circumstances permit, through our outreach service to regional and rural Victoria. We welcome RAV's commitment to maintain the Open Place suite of specialist services, and almost all of the staff team will be continuing to provide services and support at Open Place. Moving forward, with the support of Relationships Australia and feedback from our forgotten Australians and stakeholders, we will explore what improvements we can make into the future. We recognise that there has been a long period of uncertainty for our clients and stakeholders that has been compounded by COVID-19, and we thank you for your patience and understanding during this time. Now that RAV is the new provider of Open Place, we look forward to continuing to provide support and to resume our full suite of services. These include records and family searches, counselling, coordinated support, redress support, health funding, community education, drop-in activities and social support groups that are currently provided in 14 locations across Victoria. These will resume when COVID requirements allow us to resume them. For now, we are still open and providing services remotely, and I invite people to contact us for more information or to use our services by calling 1800 779 379 or visiting our website at openplace.org.au. Back to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Michelle. I'd just like to thank everyone who's been watching today. As I say, it's slightly unusual given the COVID-19 situation, and we look forward to meeting you in person. I think as the late and great Vera Lynn said, we will meet again. All the best. Bye-bye.